इंग्लैंड और फ्रांस में 6-7 साल बिताने के बाद भारत लौटे जहांगीर कुछ समय के लिए इस दुविधा में थे कि वो वापस विदेश जाएं या नहीं, पर देश को मिली स्वतंत्रता ने उन्हें आशावादी बना दिया था और उन्होंने यहीं रहने का निर्णय कर लिया।
I came back to a new India, an India that I hadn't known. She was free, she was independent, a proud young republic had been born in the years that I was away. And the whole country had changed. Of course, there was that excitement of your own country. You were coming back not to a country ruled, not a dominion, not a Commonwealth country, but your own free country. That excited me in itself.
भारत में एक कलाकार के रूप में अपनी पहचान बनाने में जहांगीर को कुछ कठिनाइयों का भी सामना करना पड़ा।
So I came back thinking that no, I want to paint and I'm going to start in this country which is to an extent new to me. There was in the beginning a certain amount of opposition to me as an Indian who'd lived abroad a long time, comes back, so is he really considered Indian? Now that sort of way of thinking doesn't worry me and never did even at that stage at all, because after all one is born what one is, which is Indian, and one is proud of it. So whether you think I'm a foreigner or not doesn't worry me. The point is, how do I work and does the country accept me? And it is quite amazing that from the time of my first show, as I say, I started working in 1951, and I think my first show was in 1953. And I remember taking what was called in those days the Prince's Room. They were kind enough to let me hire at a reasonable rent the Prince's Room, where I showed first. But there were no walls to hang paintings, so what you had to do is buy Hessian, get hold of carpenters, work at it yourself, and make a sort of framework upon which you could hang your pictures. So that was my first show here.
जहांगीर की पेंटिंग्स हर 2-3 साल में एक बार एग्जिबिट होने लगी और जल्द ही वो देश के नामी गिरामी कलाकारों में गिने जाने लगे।
I joined hands with the young in those days. The young Pandole Gallery was there, slightly before the well-known Keku and Khorshid Gandhi of Kemold Gallery. I joined hands with Kemold and gave them their first big show. I think in '66 we had a huge showing at the Kumaraswamy Hall, which was then the Prince of Wales's museum, to a resounding success. And if I'm not wrong, I don't want to bring in finances and money into it, but it's interesting to know that it was mine and their first almost full sellout show. It had not been heard of till then, and I think 3/4 of it was sold happily to various buyers, which gave me the incentive then to decide that if one links up with a gallery, the show must travel. It's not good enough for the artist to show in the city where he was born and where he is known. What about taking your art across to Madras, Chennai now, to Calcutta, to Delhi? It's a huge country with growing interest in art even in those days. And so the galleries understood what I was trying to say, and we began to travel. And I did shows with Kemold here in Bombay and with what was then known as Kunika Kemold in Delhi. That way I began to introduce myself to the country, not only to this city, but to the country as a whole. And the reception has always been so gratifying, for which I'm so really, truly, sincerely grateful, that the wide Indian public opened its arms to one in an extraordinary way, because one is not really a likely candidate as a pioneer, and yet one was.
जहांगीर भारत में चित्रकला के क्षेत्र में बढ़ती तरक्की से बेहद खुश हैं और किसी भी लिहाज से वो यहाँ के कलाकारों को विदेशी कलाकारों से कम नहीं समझते।
I know that our catalogues are far superior to those that are done in the West by commercial art galleries, because it's only great names. I mean, if you were a Braque, a Picasso, a Mark Rothko, a Jackson Pollock, then you'd get a splendid catalogue. But if you're not one of those names, you'd get a very ordinarily printed handout. But that is not so in India. We are producing wonderful work.
जहांगीर ने अपने दोस्त मिस्टर वकील के साथ मिलकर कंटेम्पररी इंडियन पेंटर्स की कला को प्रमोट करने के लिए कार्ड्स और कैलेंडर्स बनाना शुरू किया। धीरे धीरे वो क्राई और स्पास्टिक्स सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडिया के लिए भी कार्ड्स और पेंटिंग्स बनाने लगे, पर इन सब के पीछे जहांगीर का कोई आर्थिक स्वार्थ नहीं था।
So the day has come when I don't think we need to be either mock modest or shy. We're on a par with world trends, with world art. And that is the most gratifying part of my own life and career. At this time and at this age, whilst I'm still alive, my paintings are being shown all over the world. And I find that, together with a lot of other painters who deserve it, I find that exciting and wonderful, which really enthuses me even now, hopefully to work more and work better.
अपने फ्रेंच टीचर से उन्होंने सीखी थी विनम्रता, जो आज तक उनके व्यक्तित्व का अभिन्न अंश है।
Now, after that I came back. Now, André Lotte, my last teacher in France, had said, which was one of the things one learns from Europe. He says, don't you dare call yourself a painter just because you finished a number of years of study. You're a student of painting. So don't assume and presume that, because I've studied for so many years, here is a painter. And that admonition went very deep. I understood what he was trying to say, that one needs really, in the best sense of the word, to be humble with whatever it is you want to do in life.